Hey everyone, it's me again. Very quickly, we're making videos every day now, it seems. I don't think it'll be that way forever. Nothing lasts forever. But allow us to dive in to Crash Bandicoot. Now, it's not a franchise that I love. I like the character quite a lot. To be honest, Crash Bandicoot 1 was the first game I ever fucking played. And what a game to start with. The hardest game in the franchise. Until now. But let's just start with the original trilogy. I really don't want to dabble too much into the side games as much. You know, the handhelds, those kind of games. The Crash or the Titan series. Never played Titans. And actually, wait, no, I did play about 5 minutes of it, and I was like, wow, fuck this shit. So I just skipped out on that, and then Mind Over Mutant, same thing, didn't even touch that, and then Crash Bandicoot died until the Insane Trilogy. Now, my history with Crash 1 is pretty funny. I was about 3 years old, and I was playing it, and my mom couldn't beat the last boss, which was Cortex. And I gave it a few shots, and I beat him. I don't know how the fuck I beat him, like, at that age. And apparently she was pissed. Like, really, after all the time I've been putting into it, he just does it that quickly? Yeah. Let's just say from the age of 3 and onwards, I was pretty damn addicted to the Crash Bandicoot games. Well, Crash 1. I didn't get Crash 2 until I was maybe about 6 or 7, and then Crash 3, like, I never owned Crash 3, but I played a decent chunk of it. I eventually did complete it 100% at some point, minus Coco giving you the secret gem after getting all the gold relics. And, fuck the relics, by the way. I used to like them. Now I hate them. So, let's start with Crash 1 here. That game, the PS1 version, because we have some remasters to talk about too. It is a good game, but a very fucking hard game. As in, like, not the Dark Souls of platforming, right, guys? No, not that bad. No. But it is a very clunky game. But there's something about it. Even with its stiff controls and how slow it is, it just is a very relaxing game to play for me personally. I know there are so many things wrong with it, such as not being able to save the game whenever you want. You have to only save it between either getting a box gem or a ton of save point, which was kind of smart on Naughty Dog's end. At least in the beginning with passwords, because memory cards were pretty hard to come by when the PS1 first came out. I think we had one, clearly, because I beat the game, I believe. But my memories are somewhat foggy, other than just playing the shit out of it. And I had eventually got the mini PS1 thing, and it had the LCD screen, and that was awesome. So awesome. And I was able to play N64 games through it too, so I was like, yes! So when people want to use the TV, it was a perfect, thing for me. If I was out and about, I'd just bring my PS1 and the screen, and there you go, play whatever I wanted to through the AV output. I honestly don't remember how I made it work that way with the N64. Oh well. So with Crash 1, you can't die. Otherwise, you have to get all the boxes again, even if you get a checkpoint. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know if they did this on purpose or if it was some type of, like, flaw, but they sure as hell fixed it after that. No Crash game has ever done something like this since, in terms of losing, the amount of crates that you would get. Now, Crash 1, there's not much to talk about because it's a pretty bare bones game. You have 3 islands, level after level, like a Mario game. as we all know, it's called the prototype name was called Sonic's Ass game, and it makes a little sense, but okay. I've looked up what it means or why they called it that, and I'm still like, I guess I get it. So anyway, we move on to Crash 2. That one I put a lot of time into. Probably a little bit more time than Crash 1, I believe, at the time. Sometimes before the Insane Trilogy came out, I would go back and revisit Crash 1 on the PS3, either through its digital store or its physical disc. Oh yeah, it definitely was digital because I broke the disc by accident. Whoopsie daisies. And I don't know what happened to the Crash. Oh yes, the Crash 2 disc is somewhere deep in the depths of the closet. The closet. You don't ever want to go in the closet, because God knows what you'll find in there. Well, not in my closet, but gamers and people who have a shit ton of electronics will know the nightmare that is storing shit in your closet and trying to find it. And it's not worth finding it for me. Crash 3, I don't really know if I still own that. I probably do, but yes, with Crash 2 and 3, you know, we had the crystals and we had a proper narrative, even though the narratives themselves really weren't anything special at all. It was just, like, especially with Crash 2, it's like right out the gate. Oh, Cortex strikes back. I wonder who the main villain is. So we start playing, and he's like, oh, I'm not a bad guy, I'm a good guy. And then Embryo was like, no, he's not a good guy, he's a bad guy. And they're treating us like idiots. But then again, it's from the perspective of Crash, who is an idiot. So I think it honestly works out really well in terms of the in-game story. But as for a story in general, for us, it's not very good. But it is pretty satisfying after getting all of the gems. And this is something Crash would have reoccurring, having 100% endings and then 101%, you know, etc., etc., with a special cutscene at the end, except for Crash 1. Crash 1, that ending is non-canon, so, I don't know. But then they took Crash 3, and they made it a pretty funny ending, in my opinion, like, with Cortex and Entropy going back in time with Uka Uka and their babies for some reason, and that was the original trilogy. And the last one I want to talk about, and not to exclude the other racing game, I don't talk about tag team racing, but we're going to be talking about Crash Team Racing. I have probably put over 100-something hours into even more than 100+ hours, probably 300 hours into the PS1 game. I, at the time, mastered that fucking game. I got every fucking character, no big deal. You know, got all the gems, all the, let's see, where are the gems? I can't remember what the collectibles were. We have, oh yes, the relics, the CTR tokens, the trophies, and my god, those fucking relics. I was a sadist. I was sadistic enough to get the platinum relics on all the levels, and nowadays it's like, whatever, but back then, to me, I was like, yeah, just to find out that it doesn't do anything to your percentage, because as a kid, I was led to believe you could unlock nitrous oxide, like, because there was a little slot on the bottom that was empty, you know where I'm talking about, where the last 3 characters would be. I always thought that was him. But then I look online sometime down the road and figure out it was just a character you can enter a code for, and it's Penta Penguin. And he was an unfinished character, because you can hear one of the developers saying Penguin Line 1 or Penguin Line 2 or whatever. I thought it was like a weird glitch or something. I never really understood what the hell it was. But thanks to modern day researchers on this stuff. I think it was from Did You Know Gaming, maybe, I'm not positive, that explained this. I was like, huh, okay, all right. So then that was not the end of that. I decided, all right, let's go for the time trials, and you unlock N trophy that way. And I was like, okay, maybe if I beat all of his, and he says, you may have beaten all my time, but good luck with nitrous oxide, basically, is what he's saying. And I'm like, oh, if I can beat that, then maybe I can unlock him. Because as a kid, he was really pretty cool. He was pretty cool looking. Not a great character in any way, like, in terms of, like, being a good villain. But, like, his design and his vehicle, it looks so fucking cool. I decided to do all those. That was a nightmare. Just to get that little... I didn't get anything for it. Nothing. I was like, what? I sat there with the controller in my hands with this dead look in my face. I imagined, but it felt like it. And I was like, I just wasted all this time for that? For bragging rights? And I don't even have the save anymore for that. Fuck, is basically what I was saying. But, yeah, you couldn't play as him unless you put in a Game Shark of some kind. And a Game Shark or an action replay, which I didn't have. I never really got into the Game Shark and action replay thing until probably the DS, I want to say. That's when I was just screwing around, but we're not talking about that. So, after Crash, the trilogy, and then the racing game, you know, I played Nitro Kart, and literally after that, minus the handhelds, I stopped playing Crash. Like, I didn't feel like I was getting too old for it, but I felt like I was, like, just kind of overloaded on too much Crash, so I kind of stepped to the side and went down the dark route and played the Sonic franchise. Jesus Christ. And I can talk about that another day, how much that is a train wreck and how they can hopefully prevent anything like Sonic Boom from happening again. 06, you know, Forces. But anyway, so we jump forward years later. In 2011, I was in this mood where I was like, man, I really want Crash to come back. Man, like, I was, like, really missing him. Because I wanted to, you know, play... Like, I always wanted to play the original trilogy with an HDified? An HD makeover, like some other games would get. I have to wait another 6 years to see the first trailer drop for the Insane Trilogy, and I was like, like, I was losing my shit. First off, it looked beautiful, and it still does, on PC especially, and I pre-ordered that shit as soon as I fucking could when it was available on pre-order for PS4. I got it digitally because I didn't really want to wait for Amazon and their fucking day after thing. You know, when you pre-order from Amazon, then you don't get it on the day of release. Yeah, didn't really want to mess with that. Had that happen with Sonic Generations, and was not happy. Oh well, I mean, it's kind of petty to get mad about that kind of crap nowadays, but I wanted to play it like at midnight. I was ready, and holy shit, I love it. This is the only way I can ever play Crash 1, especially in any form, because they've fixed up so much in terms of the physics and the control. Just mainly the control. It was just so nice. I mean, yeah, it's still and then Crash. For Crash 1, yeah, sure, it's Crash 1 at its base with all of its problems. But they took out the problem where you die and you can actually keep going. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. What? We have a box counter and we can die and still get the gems? Minus the color gems. And of course, they had to put the color gems in some of the hardest levels. I mean, the Lost City wasn't that hard, but Slippery Climb can suck a hard one. Same with the lab. Jesus. Everyone that's played those games knows how grueling they are. And after that, I was like ready to go to Crash 2 and 3, but then I heard they were going to be putting out DLC for it. Originally, they were going to actually make you pay for it, but then they backtracked on that, or backpedaled. I was like, yeah, fucking better of, because it was Stormy Ascent, a level that was cut from the original Crash 1. I only saw YouTube footage of it when I first heard of it, like a few years prior to it coming, the Insane Trilogy coming out. And man, that level is fucking hard, especially in the remaster. Wait, how would I know if I never played the original? That makes sense. So, oh, yeah. Stormy Ascent can go suck a real hard one. That's the hardest level in Crash, in my opinion, of the original trilogy. I mean, yeah, you can literally just go through it without stopping. But the problem with that is it's going to take a lot of trial and error. And the embryo stage can screw itself, too. And when you're going for the Relic run, which I did a stream, I don't know why I decided to, I just wanted to kind of archive it, that like, yeah, I fucking finally did it, was getting at least the gold relic. And I was like, yes, 100% on the trophy scale for Crash 1. And then Crash 2, it played even better than Crash 1, as we all know from the original PS1 games, and the Insane Trilogy, even better. Crash feels so natural with the thumbstick for once. I always use the D-pad. Everybody used the D-pad. Because whenever you used the stick on the PS1 version, it just... yeah, you had more precision. But the problem was... it was a little overly sensitive. So I was mildly surprised. Like, I was like, man, the D-pad is kind of a pain to use on the remaster. Might as well just go with the, thumbstick idea. And Crash 2 itself, very nice. Very nice remaster, I can tell you that. And they added the time trial relics. And I was like, fuck me. And, like I said, in Crash 1, they have them in there, too. The game wasn't built for that. At least Crash 2 gave you the, at the end of the Insane version, that is, it gives you the, what are they called, the speed shoes or whatever, basically let you, or the dash shoes, what the fuck ever. They let you go fast, they make you scenic, and I was like, that's cool, a different idea of how to play it. It'd be kind of nice if it was in a New Game Plus format where you just start over, but have the Crash Dash. There we go, that's what it's called, the Crash Dash from the get-go. But, yeah, you use it for the relics, and you think that makes everything a lot easier? No, sometimes it makes the levels harder, because some of them weren't meant to be rushed. And I can tell you one thing about Crash 1, too, as well. It was not meant to be rushed. And if you rush it, you better be fucking precise with every damn jump you got. Because that's one of the hardest things I've had to do in the modern Crash era. And I'm A-okay with having at least almost all of the platinums. I'm no sadist or masochist, I guess you can call it, like Cat Icarus, where he was able to get every single platinum relic in every single Crash game that has them. Except Crash Bash, because that doesn't count. Because it's not based on the same formula in terms of getting it. It's just something you get as a reward. But, Crash Bash, had a good time with that, but I don't want to talk about that too much at all, really. Then we had the Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled Remaster. When they announced this, I was like, yes! Because I was like, I'm fucking ready to put so many hours to do it again. Game came out, I got it for Switch, not PS4. Yes, shocker, I know. I just wanted to play it on Switch with my friends, and then we never ended up playing it. Oops. Probably should have gotten PS4. But I put, probably, actually not probably, because I believe on my Switch game time, it's over 250 hours or so. Yeah, I was addicted to that. It is even better than the original. The physics are so nice. They're tight, and the boosting system has the thing from Nitro Kart, where if you wait till the very end of the bar and, you know, do the power slide, like L1, R1, you know how it works if you play Crash Team Racing. I always thought in the original you had to wait till the red bar was full to get the best boost, but I guess that wasn't the case. So with that being in Nitro Fueled, I was like, okay, here we go. Because I'm pretty good at like timing that stuff, and now I've gotten so good at it. I can just look at the tires and know when to boost. Because honestly, again, my peripheral vision damaged from the brain surgery, so that kind of makes it a little harder to like look around as much. So yes, those are the 4 Crash games that I played and loved to death. And then we had a nice surprise. Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. I love how Cortex uses that line because it's in the title of the game. Ha ha ha. That looks like a cum face, I'm sorry. That game is fucking hard. So fucking hard. The hardest game in the franchise. But it's the best in the franchise if you just play through it start to finish. And, you know, do the extra character levels. But I am never, ever going to complete that game 100%. Because 400 plus gems? No. Relics? To the point where there's fucking purple relics for the developer times, and those are even fucking harder than the platinum relics to get, and I'm like, yeah, nope. Yep. The game feels bloated in terms of its extra content. Like, the original trilogy, it didn't really need a ton of extra content, but just enough of a fair challenge and amount for you to, you know, want to do it and get the secret ending. I mean, yeah, Crash 4, you get the secret ending, and it's literally just like, oh, Crash 5 is gonna be a thing. I'm pretty damn sure it's gonna be. This game better have sold well, or I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Because we still, I want the character to stay around and have high quality titles. Like Spyro. That's a remaster I can talk about in a different video. You see, there are so many topics I have to cover that I've missed over the past few years because I just stopped talking about things. And that kind of sucks. I kind of do miss it. Even though if these videos turn out to be about 23 plus minute long videos, some people out there seem to sit there and watch me talk about stupid video games. Also, if you're hearing a bit of a ocean background noise, that's the sound of greatness. PlayStation 2 background theme. I love that theme. It's so calming, relaxing. But yeah, I didn't really want to go too long about Crash, but might as well get some time to kill. Anyway, I'm Alex.